yeah, let's talk about like these ways to like make money.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, like the traditional ways, people like there's so much poo-pooing 9 to 5, and all the sales copy, leave your 9 to 5, drop your 9 to 5, get a 9 to 5. It's not a big deal. It's not forever. Having consistent income so that you can breathe, so that you can think is an excellent place to start, not to mention there are a lot of skills that are cultivated in the 9 to 5 space that you will use as a CEO later. The discipline, the networking, the shit eating, like all that stuff is incredibly valuable, right? People are afraid and they want to skip those steps, but there's a lot to be learned at those steps, including how you would and how you won't manage when you are the one in charge.
Yeah.
So having a 9 to 5 that can provide you with sustainable income and stability from which to grow is nothing to be ashamed of.
Yes. Yes. Something I've
Nothing to
said many, many times to people. Yeah.
Totally. That's one I want to presence, because all these other things only work if you have the capital to invest in making them work. So securing capital, that's the move. You can say to yourself, I'm going to work this job for the next 12 to 24 months. And I can look, people are afraid to do budgets. I can look and say, these are my expenses. These are my, like, the things that there's expenses that you need. And then there's like the things that you need to keep your sanity. Like I need my Netflix. Is it like is it a utility? I mean, no, but am I probably going to end up on the news if I can't just like zone out occasionally? So, like what do you need to make life enjoyable? I need to go out to a restaurant just once a week. I need to go out on Saturday afternoon, have brunch. This will keep me sane. So
Yeah.
those expenses. And then what do you have? Like, what do you have left over?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what does that chunk look like? And how many times do you need to compound it in order to reach, that next level? And obviously your like emergency fund of like just
Yeah.
have to,
Yeah.
they have three
Right.
cars at a
Exactly.
time and all of them needed to be service.
Yes.
So like your little stash for if something goes wrong.
Right. Yes. And I have podcast episodes where we talk about like having those financial foundations in place. So like, yeah, very, very important. People really do need to know their numbers, right? What is their like minimum requirement, like with their have to expenses like groceries and rent and or mortgage and all that kind of stuff. And then the the sanity expenses like Netflix, as you said. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure. And
Yeah.
for me, it's like help at my house. Like, I make a lot of sacrifices to be in a place where I can have those levels of help, so and they're not really sacrificed, like they're essential, like the people in my life who play, those roles are essential to me. Having a team, like you mentioned earlier, is a big part of being able to expand. And a team just means people that you pay regularly out. So you have to look at what kind of business model is going to be phase appropriate. There is no point of getting into a mastermind with a woman who has so much more money than you that she can't even relate to the reality that you're living in,
Yeah.
because the things she's going to recommend are not going to be phase or reality appropriate for you. I would say find someone who's done what you're doing. If she came from privilege and she's privileged now, she's never had to be where you are. And
Hmm.
I'm not knocking the value of getting out of poverty mentality by being in, enriched environments. I'm just saying you got to like look at the nitty gritty of what it's going to cost to build a machine like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think affiliate marketing is actually a fantastic way to learn from and watch an organization that's already built while you cultivate the characteristics that will make you successful in those business realms later. Does
Okay.
that make,
I'm
does that make sense?
I'm wanting to understand that a little bit more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So the throne, right? The person who sits on the throne, like the heavy head, let's be
Hmm.
real. They are probably managing a personal brand,
Yes.
a multi-member team,
Yes.
and continuous launching of some kind, right?
Yes.
That means they're probably multi-platform social media
Yes.
presence. So that means that there's a lot that goes into that, and people want to jump from zero to that.
Yeah, no.
No. It would be like if you went to the gym and you were just like, look at these, like there's a bodybuilder and he's in there pressing, and you're like, I'm gonna pick this up. And then you throw your back out, and that's what happens. People have financially thrown their backs out
Yeah. Yeah, correct.
trying
Correct.
to lift something that they didn't train for. And so I feel like affiliate marketing is a great way to have proximity and receive inspiration from someone who's doing all of those things,
Right.
to watch, to learn by observation,
Yes, such a good
to
point.
like listen, to hear, to see, because like there's things you don't know that you don't know.
Yes.
That's how vast
Right.
that section is. So as an affiliate, you can learn the lifting of, which is building an audience, email list management, selling, branding,
Nurturing.
not all of those things, community management. That's a lot
Yes.
to learn. So learn that and not make yourself responsible for the expense of developing a product or fulfilling a product.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Like crazy. That's a whole other, like you don't even get to see what a ball of wax, all of that shit is. So
Yes.
just get used to selling, get used to building an audience, get used to making a sale, recommending all of these things. And then when you have built the strength and fortitude that will allow that to happen, then you can talk about taking the big chair.
You know that you make such a good point about the observation piece, because it's not just making the money from an affiliate product, whatever it happens to be, right? Or a package or a summit or anything like that. It really is about, it is that, and it is observing this person, this heavy hitters launch process, how they nurture, how they manage a community, how they sell. It's really been very enlightening for me, and I hadn't realized that that was what I was doing as I was selling this thing that I really believed was amazing and was, but that I was also learning in the process of selling that, watching somebody else's process and being almost being like a co-seller or a co-partner in this, right? In this launch. And yes, that's been wonderful for me. And it helped me last year when I was like managing my PTSD, and it was such a relief not to have to come up with my own, like create my own offer, but like piggyback on somebody who is like, I love their stuff, it's amazing, I can get behind it, and I'm buying it too. Like that felt really like a natural, just a kind of a natural thing to do, and it felt manageable when my life was feeling hard to manage.
Yeah, coming up
Yeah.
with products as a prolific content and product creator, I can say at this point. Like it's sad right now. As a matter of fact, I just brought another person. Like I'm trying to bring like two more people on because I need to be like McDonald's. I need like a conveyor belt where I can
Right.
take the thing I create and hand it to like my editor and like copy
Yes.
publisher and be like, hey, can you just I have the capacity to
Yes.
do all of this copywriting myself, but excuse me, I have the ability. I don't have the capacity. And this has been like the big thing. Like
Yes.
ability does not equal capacity. Just because you
Yes.
have the ability to do the copywriting, to come up with the product and do all the things, does not mean that you have the capacity to do all that. You have children, you have a home, you
Yeah.
maybe have a partner, or maybe you don't have a partner, maybe you really don't. Like, so I think that's the thing, that having a personal coaching brand is so much more about capacity than it is about ability.
Yes.
And with affiliate marketing, you can use like the capacity that you have and not have to like do all of the things, because creating a product means first you have to come up with the idea, then you have to make it an actual product,
Yes.
and then you have to deliver it. I mean, there's so much. It's like payment portals and GDPR compliance and constantly changing website legal disclaimer
Yeah.
requirements and insurance, and like, I mean, all these things you have to have when you have a business, but it's just like such a long list of administrative tasks where if you
Yeah.
could just like, her stuff is awesome, she's amazing, I use it, it was good, go get it. Like just
It's stuff
that's
we already do. It's
like,
stuff we already do. And then we get paid for it. What a freaking miracle.
And to me, it actually feels like a very like energetically equitable system, because then the people who have, because there, let's, we have to be honest, that there are different levels of privilege, different levels of ability. And
Yeah.
instead of us saying, okay, only if you have all this privilege and all this ability and all of this, like, then you get to be successful, we can say, actually, me as the person who has all of this ability and privilege and capacity, I can share some of the wealth that this privilege, ability, capacity affords me with other people. I can actually like be this conduit for generosity in a
Yeah.
way that is like, and it's for everybody. It's like you get some, I get some. You expend energy, I expend energy. I expended
Yeah.
the energy to come up with and fulfill this thing. But for the love of God, I cannot go out and do all of the selling too. That's not fair to me as a creative, right?
Right. Right.
So now you can do that piece. And because we worked together, we can all do
Yes.
well. So there's like there's like a sacred symbiosis that happens in properly ethically managed affiliate communities that is
Yes.
really quite beautiful.
Yeah. It feels very collective. It feels like, I feel like the place in me that loves being in community and relationships and groups of people, it really feels like my love language is like, let's create something together. That is like my, yeah, I don't need anything else but that. I love creating with other people. And so that affiliate marketing model feels great because it's like, yeah, we're doing this together, we're selling this together, and it feels good, and I'm helping you and you're helping me. Yeah.
And whatever the thing is that we're referring is like it's a quality,
It's a
it's a quality
right, it's a
product, right?
win-win-win all around. Yes.
Whereas in some of the other models I've seen, some of the other pay to play models where it was like, there's this main figure, this brand head, and they are charging an exorbitant amount to all these people, and those people have to justify the money that they're investing in that environment.
Yes.
So they form this like weird little culty clique where they're like all
Yes.
praising the person and encouraging other people to come in, and it's like they're just kind of spreading the dysfunction and like
Yes.
normalizing it. And that to me, or like I mean, I understand that some people do it, and maybe the advice that these people are giving is so fantastic that they need to have profit share. But I like the affiliate model more because I feel like the lines are more clean
Yeah.
in terms of profit being shared and spread between and people. It's like you did a thing. Here's the metric for it. Like you sold 100 people this amount, so you times this amount, and that's the amount of money you get. Not this. Let me get in your mastermind and pay you 15% of my sales, which may have nothing to do with anything that you told me. Especially,
Right.
is it my new sales since you started mentoring me? Because that would make sense, because that's new money I made because of you. But you're talking about 15% of some money I was making before I even started talking to you? Absolutely not. Get out my pockets. So like I feel like that affiliate model is much more ethical than the profit sharing that I've seen in some other.
Yes. 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 Oh my gosh. Yes. Such a good point. And tell me about, tell me a little bit about the digital stuff, the digital products, right? Yes. So the this is, I want to I want you to share sort of like what's coming down the pipeline for you, right? So that people can like get on board. Yeah, because there's some really amazing stuff coming down.
Yes, there's really amazing stuff coming down. So I have wanted to be a writer my whole life. And when I was little, it was like, don't be writers, don't make any money. Artists don't make money, and I wanted to go in marketing since I was in like high school. And I just felt like that was the thing for me. And I was kind of dissuaded. I ended up going to school for nursing because that was like, it's stable. Like you'll always have a job, you'll always have a profession. And that was very true. And I love nurses and I have the absolute utmost respect for them. However, you've met me. I don't have the personality. I don't have what they call bedside manner. I don't. And so I went from the like healing into like marketing because I spoke healer. So I was like be
Yes.
able to translate for healers and spiritualists who couldn't quite figure out how to sell and
Yeah.
market and make clear value propositions because the work that they do is so like ephemeral. And so over the years, I've created just this library of tons of information. Everything that I've learned on my journey, I
Yeah.
have sought to share
Yes.
in a way that makes sense, because
Yes.
a lot of the reason that people like to overcharge is by making their knowledge feel obscure, right?
Yes.
And you can
Mm-hmm.
only get to see it. And, you know, it's even like with medical stuff, because I went to school for that. I'm like, well, if you understand Latin, like you understand that all that means is that you haven't inflamed this. That's
Yeah.
all they told you. But I said it to you in Latin. And so now you're like, sinusitis, I'm gonna die. And it's like, no, you have inflammation. So we could treat this any number of ways that would speak to inflammation. But like when you shroud things in mystery, then you can manipulate people and thus prices. So
Yeah.
no shade, but that's just like a fact. So like I try to explain business concepts and personal development concepts and manifestational concepts. Every concept I come across, I try and like simplify and like
Yeah.
streamline it for actual use.
Yeah. You're
And
really breaking it down.
I love the, like, you know, I'm Scorpio, so I'm like, let's break it down. Let's cut it open and lay it all kind of open.
Yeah.
And I just decided that I wanted to start sharing all of that, not just to my mastermind clients, because I've been sharing this information in high ticket masterminds and in mastermind groups for years and years and years. But there are other people who could benefit from that information. It just started to feel, how do we talk about improving the economy? How do we talk about women having more opportunity if I can't get them the information? And the simple fact is, if I have to do everything 1-to-1, if I have to do everything 1-to-20 even, I can only reach so many people. And I
Yes.
know, I feel her. I've been her. Like when I feel the expanse between myself 10 or 12 years ago and now, I know there's a woman somewhere who has a heart to help people. She just doesn't know which step to take first. And so creating this journey through information products where someone can like grow and know, and if they are so inclined, monetize that information, that has been my answer to the issue of access and
Right.
equity. Yeah, and
And
energy.
impact,
Yeah.
right? Energy and impact, right? So that's like energy efficiency and maximum impact.
Maximum impact. It's been amazing. I put my first digital product offer out there is actually the first work that I ever channeled in. It's called the Mind Alignment Protocol, not to be confused with another one of a similar name. Not that one. And I think I had mine first. I don't know. But it was amazing for me because when I first offered it, I offered it into a group. I think I did, it was either like $400 or $500 per person to get in and go through this several week protocol. I've done it one-on-one with people
Yeah.
in like $1,500 containers, and then in like super higher end containers where I've made it accessible. But by creating a digital product, it was like a business in a box. It was like all of the things that you need to take someone to go through the protocol yourself,
Yes.
to then offer it potentially as a service, to market it, to promote it. Like I gave them everything. And I had women coming to me saying, oh my God, thank you. I don't have the time, the money, or quite frankly, even the ability, like the ability
Yes.
to write, to think structurally as well as esoterically. They're like, I don't have the ability
Yeah.
to create this right now. And not to mention that it cost me many thousands of dollars to create that.
Exactly. Exactly.
They don't have that either, right? But they're like, and I made that, I think when I made it available, I think it's now like 222 or something like that. So it's like if you have the LLC, like you got your insurance and all your little things together, all your fundamentals. I've had people who are like, I can go take this and run it right now. I had women coming to me who run nonprofits who are like, oh, I treat, immigrant women who are dealing with like their migration trauma. I can run them through this protocol to help kind of like deal with some of
Wow.
the thematic stuff. I can run them through this and I can just take it to my community right now because they paid $222 for it.
That's
They can charge
amazing.
people $22 and have made their investment back.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
It's insane. So it's just
Yes.
like, I was like, oh, obviously I'm going to do more of this. And I still, I'm still capable of serving the woman who's like, I want to make a multi six-figure program. Can you build out a custom course and a campaign? Yes, I can totally serve that woman. But most people are not that woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's get something in their hands because we have a world that's literally on fire. Let's try and make as much information and enlightenment available to whoever ever wants it, because it serves all of us to get that out there, to light
Hmm.
as many sparks in the human heart and mind as possible. So to me,
Yes.
it just like, it just feels so good. I'll be honest. It just feel like I'm trying not to get emotional because it just feels so good to be able to get that stuff out there so that
Yeah.
personal development and entrepreneurial development doesn't become something that's only available to the super rich.
Yeah. Yeah. I know as you're saying that, I just really feel the balance between what you were saying before, the equitability and accessibility. It really is such a sweet balance because, you know, that these, the mind alignment protocol and these other digital products, they're value heavy, they're lower cost, right? Accessible. And because of how it's disseminated through an affiliate model, it just gets to people, it gets to more people, right? Which benefits you economically, right? Because it's like that's leveraging other people to do the
Yeah.
marketing for you. And the person doing the marketing also gets paid. Like for me, that is like, I love it. It's just, that is something that I'm really passionate about, and I'm going to be doing more of this year and beyond because I love it. I love, you know what, I've always loved cheerleading. I used to be a cheerleader in high school, and for me affiliate marketing is a little bit like cheerleading. Like, I love this stuff, it's so cool, I love this person, check it out. It's like that feels like it's just right up my alley anyway.
Yeah. Well, and to be honest, not all of my products were like affiliates. Some of them were straight reseller
Yes,
where I was like,
exactly.
you have commercial license to take this and do it with your clients. So they paid me one time.
Yes.
That particular one, because that one is on my heart.
Yeah.
I talk a lot about bringing things to the altar because this is the way I was raised, that you take your first fruits. And so for me, that was like, and remains in my ecosystem, that is among my first fruits because it was gifted to me as a transmission.
Yeah.
And I wanted to keep the spirit of that. Um, for that one, as I talk, like for me, I could leverage other streams of income enough to make that one, I could take kind of a hit on that one because
Yeah.
that was a mission oriented product. But I could look at my, numbers and go, well, this is my margin driven product. My margin driven product allows the mission driven product to exist.
There you go. There you
So
go.
like that's how it all comes back.
It balances out, right? You're not heavy on the margin one, you're not heavy on the mission one. They work together, they work in tandem, one feeds the other.
Yeah, which is sometimes neglected in the rhetoric.
Yes, yes, thank you for this conversation. This was amazing, and I'm gonna, for those of you listening, I'm gonna include all of Leah's links, social, and otherwise in the show notes so that you can follow her and get access to to some of these, some of these products that are just so amazing, and that you can get
Yeah,
on our email list and learn more about what's coming down the pipeline because it's really exciting.
but I mean, if you're a mom, like, because
Yeah,
that's the thing that changed for me
yeah,
in my business. When I started my coaching business, one of my kids was living with his dad in a different state. So I saw him on holidays, which is every parent will tell you that's a completely different thing. than having somebody in your house all the time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and
Hmm.
then my daughter was not born yet.
Yeah.
So having had a child really changes the type of business model that is feasible.
Yeah.
And so I think for all these assiduous, ambitious moms out here, don't feel like you have to rely on a personal brand
Yes.
solely for all of the income. Like you got to look at how the market fluctuates. It doesn't make sense to put all your eggs in one basket or even just your own basket. Like you should
Yeah.
be looking at how do you have,
Exactly.
they say it's a minimum of 7, like 7 is what it takes to be rich, but like a minimum of 3, so that if there's contraction in the coaching industry, but like for me, I'm in the AI space. AI is popping all the way off right now. Like it's only 30% of the population even knows anything about it. So it's like wide
Mhm.
open market. So like you've got to keep your options open so
Yeah.
that you can keep the income flowing. And there's 9 to 5 affiliate, digital products, personal brand, faceless brand. There's a
Mhm.
lot of options out there for moms who want to make money. And I think
That are
that they
still, right, that are still congruent with what they're passionate about, who they are, like their values, right? Things that they're passionate about. Maybe they've already developed an audience and a following, right? So it's in alignment with that too.
yes.
Yeah. So all those pieces come together.
Yeah, this is what we're doing in my course right now. Well, the last part of my course is all about, I have a course called Intuitive AI, and it's all about, the last piece is all about monetization because we're talking about how to create with with AI. And
Yeah.
so we're like talking about digital products, but then people are like, what kind of digital product would be congruent with what I already do in my audience? And I'm like, look, if you need somebody to help you figure out how to monetize an existing audience, I'm your girl. People, they just don't like that. Most people just don't like, they don't realize it's like it's right in front of
Yes.
them.
Yes. Exactly.
So like I had a client who had 5 kids and homeschools all of them, and she was selling not edibles, like THC edibles, but she was selling things that you eat, right?
Yeah.
And she, for many, many complex reasons, moved away, not the least of which she had personal health stuff, which meant she couldn't be as involved in her store because she had like a shop. And so she had to go in and be present. And all of a sudden she had all this health stuff. She couldn't do that. And I was like, but girl, like you have homeschooled 5 intelligent, kind, beautiful, contributing children. Why aren't you targeting that market?
Mm.
Like here are some products. We came up with a list of products, like these are some products you could affiliate for that are right in line with that market, and here's some types of products you could create to support other homeschooling moms
Yes.
that are already, or moms that are part of your, because even whether you're homeschooling or not, you're still trying to educate your kids, right? Nobody's like, oh, like let's make this kid as dumb as possible. So like I was like, you have moms in your audience, why not let's like diversify into some educational support materials and just like lightly like monetize that audience. Low cost, I'm talking about stuff that's under $50. It's cake. Like
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. I hope that listeners are getting so much out of this conversation that their minds are exploding because I'm already seeing, like, I'm already having like this vision of like, oh, all of the things that are possible here and that are, not does is they're not sort of like, yes, they're creative, but they're like when you leverage AI, for example, you have that support to create the thing, right? And then put it out into the world.
are you kidding me? Right now, you're creating nothing? This is okay. I have one more thing and I'm gonna be all right. Like I need to get my mind. One more thing. So I did, you saw it because I did a post about the $1,500 a month Voxer coaching. And
Yes.
you understand you can talk to a robot for $20 a month. $20, and it has the whole internet's and brain for you pay somebody $1,500. And I'm not saying there aren't coaches worth $1,500. There's one I know in particular who does somatic healing. And when you're at the level that you have that, definitely give it to her because she will change your life. But if you're
Yes.
talking about a business coach, you can there's in my class right now, I'm teaching people how to essentially take an investment of $20 of $200, excuse me, $200 a month in tech. and 10x that easily.
Yeah.
Easily 10, in some cases 20, through either services or product creation.
Yeah.
And the
Mm.
market is like wide open and only getting like wider and wider and wider. And it favors the brave and it favors the early adopters. And like now is the time, if you're a mom who wants to make money, to figure out how you gonna do it. What's your hustle? Let's get it. There's 5-figure side hustles out there that you haven't even dreamt of because you're trying to follow somebody else's model of success instead of your own.
Hello. That's it. Mic drop. Yeah. All right. Let's get it.
Let's get it. As my daughter says, my toddler, one of the first things, I'm the worst mom, let me tell you. My toddler does this, I'll be like, Ember, and she'll go.
Ah!
So yeah, let's get it. Let's
Show
go
me
get
the
it.
money. All right. Thank you so much, Leah, for
Thank
always
you.
bringing like truth and cutting through the bullshit and just like the balm of like I don't know it's always such a like a relief to speak with you because you're just like you cut through that all of the illusion and all of that the manipulation that we talked about at the beginning of this session. So thank you. It's
There's
great.
power in truth. Well, I think
Exactly.
that's the new direction.
Yes, vibrates at the highest frequency for sure.